Some commentators have pointed out how the British in colonial Singapura preferred to work with the Chinese rather than with the Malays. One of them said he noted the Brits worked well with the Chinese, not the Malays. No idea why. Ho Ching herself has sung the virtues of the colonial British. I find it remarkable how eager some are to praise their colonial masters. But there are some very simple reasons why the British worked closely with the Chinese, and I have discussed some of them before. First, the Malays were the natives. The British did not want to empower them too much lest they push the British out. Second, the Malays refused to enslave themselves to the British. Now, this enslavement comes in many forms, and the way the Chinese were treated by the British can be sickening. In her article, White Men and Their Chinese Boys, Claire Lowry detailed the intimate and often degrading relationships between white European men and their Chinese houseboys in Singapore. In both Singapore and Darwin, the relationship between white men and their Chinese male servants was one of intense intimacy. The so-called houseboys were not boys, they were men. Many white men described them as like wives. William Soden wrote in 1882 that the Chinese boy brought his master's cigar lights and obeyed every command. What more except a wife? Lowry showed how these relationships were not just about work. They were sexualized and deeply racialized. In a transcolonial context where the Chinese were known for homosexual liaisons, the feminization of Chinese male servants was a way for British men to maintain power over them. At the same time, Singapore even had a trade in Hainanese boys for brothels. By 1899, there were 6 male brothels in the port town, at least 3 of which were frequented by Europeans. The British did not work closely with the Malays because the Malays will never accept such subservience. The Malays will never let themselves be turned into boys for white men, waking them, dressing them, or anything more. So the next time someone celebrates how well the British and the Chinese worked together in colonial Singapore, they should also remember what some of that working relationship really looked like.